So here we are and the system is broke. American dream has gone up in smoke. So stop sitting there all broken hearted. Let's get this motherfucking party started. Lady Liberty is ringing a bell, and we're driving us straight into hell. But don't worry, we got what you need. Crank up the volume till your eardrums bleed. Go and make America again.
Welcome, everyone, to the A Better Way to a podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. We're waiting for Andrew. His life is chaos again. I'm not going to talk shit about him again this episode like I did last episode. He's with his children, and I'm here with Dave Kiwacka. Is that how you say your last name?
Kiwacka.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was like, shit, I should have asked him before we started this. That's super unprofessional. I could have said it like in a weird way, but I would have pretended. I wouldn't have asked you, is that how you pronounce it? If I was that wrong and not confident about it, I just would have gone with it and owned it.
Oh, it's all good.
Dave, you are from Hi-Point, and we met you at SHOT Show. We did a super cool interview with you, and then afterwards, I found out that the mic was not plugged in, and we lost all the audio.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I was, dude, when I tell you that I was beyond bummed, like I was like, holy shit, how did we get this interview with this guy on the last day of SHOT Show? Like, why didn't we stop by sooner? It was probably one of the best interviews that we had. You and the dude from Hollow Sun was actually really funny. Like, I judge the oh fuck. Anyway, we had a lot of fun with you. I'm pretty sure Andrew was talking about putting guns in his mouth at one point or in time or something, like as a joke. As a joke.
I can say I honestly don't remember just because SHOT has been so long.
You know what?
But
he was
especially being on Friday though. Friday's always the most like relaxed on every level, you know.
Yeah, I think he might have more eloquently put it as taste testing guns, but it's still one of those things that people tend to frown upon it at SHOT Show, and it's so funny. You'll know when you get talking to him a little bit more later, but I think we were kind of tired at the end of the week, but typically it's like Labrador and Chihuahua energy with us. He is a Labrador Golden Retriever, and I'm just like trying to keep my head on straight, trying to figure out who we're going to next. Nice. But it really works out if Golden Retrievers put guns in their mouth. But anyway,
right.
What have you been up to, man? It's been almost a year. Well, no, 8 months or so.
Yeah,
7 months.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess big thing be like from NRA to SHOT Show was we announced the HP-15.
Yep.
So we got the AR-15 line.
Yeah.
And then people actually got to shoot. Well, I went to 2 events at the end of June, back to back. One was the POMA shoot or POMA Writers Media event. I don't know. It was a range day up on Camp Perry. Pretty cool. And that was kind of the first time people that were there actually got to shoot the rifle. If they actually came by though, because POMA had a bunch of bays outside shooting 200 yards. And they had us in this like covered area, more or less. We actually had the best spot. We had big fans, airflow going through.
Awesome.
It was like us in there. NSSF actually had a booth in there. Some ammo guy, I forget who the hell it was. An optic guy, I forget who the hell it was. And like somebody else.
Clearly made an
5
impression.
of us in this building. Yeah. Well, because it was just so chill. We all just shot the shit and with the ROs. And we shot our own guns more often than anything else. But the handful of people that came in actually shot the HP-15. And if you've ever been to Camp Perry, they have the electronic readout targets. So when you're like benching it there and you're shooting it, you can see on like an iPad immediately your feedback of where it's
sick.
hitting.
No, I've never been there.
I've known of those things. Yeah, I've never played them before, so that was first for me. That was cool as shit. And I'd given the rifle like a quick 20-yard zero probably the Sunday before, and this is like a Monday or Tuesday. We're out there. So I'm like, all right, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, those are pretty tight, but they're off. It was like the center and they're here. And I was like, well, I can dial these things in, dial them in. I was like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, that's like 1 MOA. I'm like, with some just generic ass Omani 223. I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Then the writers come up though, and they get the gun, and they look like all thumbs trying to manipulate it. I'm just going, dude, it's an AR-15. Like, it's an AR-15. Come on, man. And I watch them shoot, and I look at the target, and the target's just like a shotgun pattern. I'm like, Yeah, man. You hit the target.
Good job. You want to take it home, hang it on your wall?
Jeez. This was like, holy shit. And then so that was like on a Monday or Tuesday. And then that was, like I said, Camp Perry. And then by that Friday, I'd come back down to Dayton and then back up to the Cleveland area for GunCon for their range day. Same guns, set up same way with suppressors on them. And didn't realize till like the end of the day, we thought we were shooting 7,500 yards. No, it was like everything was like 140 yards. So when you grabbed our ARs, even our 9mm carbines, they're all dialed in. So you just pick them up and just ping, 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 hit the steel.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody come walking up, I'd be like, dude, all my shit's dialed in. If you miss, it's on you. Just put the pressure on the riders. And man, some of them like miss hardcore. Like, man, these things are dialed in. I'm like, they are. Are you sure? I'm like, give it here. Ping, 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 ping. Like, yep, it's good. It's like, come on, man. You guys should be able to be more accurate than this shit. Is it that much pressure? Are you that tired already? I don't know.
That's the great thing about shooting, man, is like it is an easily replicable result. You know, you've got like it's very easy to tell if it's what you're doing wrong and if it's the person or if it's the gun, because if you get consistency with one person and the other person can't get it, then it's clearly the person. And it's a tool. Yeah. It's not like there's no human element in the machine itself other than the person shooting it. So yeah, I love that. That's why whenever we hear people talking shit on the internet, it's post groups and splits or shut the fuck up.
Right. Like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, it's such a dangerous thing. Like, you can only talk about what you've done, how well you've shot so much where you sound like you're being a pompous ass yourself.
Sure.
Of like, well, I could shoot this well. Okay, yeah, it's fine. But same time, yeah, share all of it.
Yeah.
Share every bit of it. Give me that stupid ass long take video on a tripod shot of your shoulder. You pick it up, carry all the way down. You've shown the shot timer. We saw your splits, carry all the way down to see the target and just go, yeah, there's my tight little group. I'm like, shit, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But I don't know. Well, I mean, it was cool too. I'll say some of the writers, the ones that could hit the targets, they're then like thanking us and like, thank you. I'm like, for what? Like having your shit zeroed. I was like, well, I'll be honest, man, it doesn't happen all the time.
Dude, but like
most of the time we're just grabbing a rack gun and throwing an optic on it and we're going. And that's
I'm
it,
not gonna name names, but when we went to like an event at SHOT Show for some optics, and you'd think like we're going for the optics are gonna be good to go. They were not even tightened on the rail, dude. There were some times where we shooting. We have a video on our SHOT Show video on YouTube where like our editor did this without me even asking, which is super funny. He zoomed in on the optic as I think Andrew was shooting, and you see the thing going ding ding dancing on the rail.
Oh my god,
dude! I'm like, this is your one thing.
Yeah, if you're in my position, you're just quickly grabbing I think I had this my Aimpoint ACO. I threw a kill flash on it just before going to POMA and GunCon because I thought it'd be cool. Yeah, but when you're trying to like shoot tight groups, kill flashes actually kind of suck. I mean, it looks cool until you're really like focusing. It's like, damn, that honeycomb is kind of
I can see that. Your eyes probably tend to focus on it a bit while you're trying to.
But I mean, again, for me though, like we're just quickly throwing something on for the visual of it on the gun, and so you can shoot down range with it. But yeah, if you're an optic outfit, dude, I would expect your shit to be like zeroed in, like very nice, very tight. Like no matter who you are, if you put that optic, the crosshair, that dot on there, you're gonna hit shit.
For sure.
I guess not, man. We're all human, I guess.
Dude, I definitely want to talk about the HP-15 because this is something that has... So we're constantly pointing people in the right direction for getting their first AR. Getting their first AR.
Right.
We tend to say, no offense, we tend to say get a Glock 19 and buy an AR. But that being said, you know, ARs have a wide range of affordability, a wide range of quality. Clearly, the HP-15 is doing well at the range. Have you heard anything? And, you know, let me preface this by saying usually when a company, whether it's an automotive manufacturer or a firearms manufacturer, comes out with something that they haven't done before, there's usually some hiccups in the road. But have you guys experienced anything as far as that with the HP-15, or has it been kind of like copy and paste from something else, use what works, don't use what doesn't, and go from there?
So we knew we were going to do the HP-15 for a while. And so we talked to some, like, you know, it's funny. The gun industry is pretty damn small. Once you say you're going to do something like this, you know, like we're not machining everything. We're not machining hardly shit in house with it right now. It's all, we're speccing everything out. then our crew's building it. But we then hired guys in to teach our crew how to build the stuff. So like they know how to build an AR from tip to butt through and through. And probably the only like hurdle I saw, which was pretty quickly taken care of, was we did a range day with the factory. And so we had, I think it was 30 guns we were in test fire. And it's a couple hours from where we are. So by the time we get up there, they get the first gun out there ready to start shooting. And so they're kind of having issues with it. And I was like, what the hell's going on? They're like, yeah, I don't really know. And I was like, well, are you guys going to test more than one gun at a time? They're like, yeah. I was like, cool. I brought my kid with me just as a trigger puller, because when you're doing 30 guns, I think we did 300 rounds per gun. You need people with fresh fingers, you know. And my son shoots. So I was like, all right, here you go, dude. Here's a rifle. And I grab it and I charge it for him first. And I was like, what the hell? This is dry as shit. And they're like, no, we oiled him. I was like, guys, not enough. This is an AR-15. This isn't a Hi-Point 995. No. I was like, where's the oil? I'm like, racking it. I'm like, now that feels like butter. I was like, here, Mason, hand it to my kid. So he charges it. I was like, no problem. And they were like, oh shit, we need more oil. I'm like,
all the oil, all of the oil.
So I mean, that was probably the only real like growing pain at that point, was they realized like, oh shit, our build quality, nothing wrong with it. We just didn't put enough oil in this.
Dude, you know what? Like I've done that.
He needs more.
I've done that, like going to a competition before and like not, you know, it's far different going to the range indoors in like a HVAC area from going from that to going to the outside where you're in a dirty, dusty environment. And I got like halfway through one of the Woodland Brutalities like 2 years ago, and I just started getting failure to feeds, and I was like, that's weird. But I also changed my ammo too, so I was like halfway through the competition, which was silly, but not like it was going to matter for me because I'm not at that level. And I was like, oh, it's the fucking ammo, and I let somebody else shoot it, and he's like racking the slide back. I was like, oh, that's my bad.
Yep. Amazing when you step back and realize that. Give it a little juice, and next thing you know.
Yeah, it's like getting out of a bad relationship and being like, all my friends were right. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. $500 for an AR is a screaming deal. And you know, if it performs as well as you say it does, which I mean, obviously you'd have no reason to say there'd be no way you'd be 100% truthful and transparent.
Right. I mean, it's one of those like we're not giving out like some MOA guarantee or even MOA guarantee at all.
No.
You'll say it's combat accurate. But what I found is, I found with Omani 5.56, I was putting 1-inch groups out.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, Hunter from Range Hot, he called me up and he's like, dude, I'm getting 6-inch groups of this thing. And I went, okay, at what yardage? And he goes, oh, at 500 yards. I was like, oh, well, shit, I'd take that all day long. I said, what do you get 100 yards? He goes, 1-inch groups. He goes, and I'm getting like 2-inch groups at like 300 yards. I was like, oh, well, then I don't give
that's
a
pretty
shit,
solid.
dude. That's good enough. You know?
We were talking about this at SHOT Show, where like, you know, that Hi-Point people make jokes all the time. Like it's obvious, but the guns keep selling. They're very popular, and clearly you guys are doing something right. Do you think that the critics are just, well, first of all, do you think there's real criticisms to be said, other than the fact that like the handguns are big and bulky and like maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing, except for the one that's got the hundos on it. But other than that, you know, like it's a blowback design, right? Like they go bang every time you pull the trigger. They're for what they are, they're reliable. I've never heard of anybody. I think they even froze one in a block of ice and shot it.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
You know, like, do you think that you guys are filling a gap, or do you think it's really just like a philosophy that you guys have about making a gun that anyone can afford?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, it is a philosophy of making guns anyone can afford. That's always been the mission for the last 35 years. That's always been the key point, is make something that's affordable. But then the other one that's kind of funny to hit on is the critics. Is like, what exactly is a critic? Because if you look at actual gun writers, like we even go before the YouTube explosion of actual media gun writers, and they're never bashing the gun because it's reliable, it's accurate. It's accurate because it's a blowback. You know, they've always been that well. It's the naysayers that don't believe you can buy something that cheap and affordable, think it's got to be a piece of shit because they've never shot one. And that's the biggest thing. Most negative comments come from guys that have never even touched the gun before. And I can easily say I fall in that category myself. Like, I can tell you, let's see, I've been doing this for 15 years now, or 16, something like that. And like a couple years before I did, I was with my brothers out in Northern California, and we stopped in a grocery store just to get like a beer run, more or less. And we're standing in the checkout line, and we see a guns and ammo issue sitting there at the register, and it says Vandalia, Ohio Gun Company. We lived in the city next to Vandalia growing up, so it was like, Vandalia, Ohio Gun Company. What kind of piece of shit is that gun? That was the company I work for now that does the marketing for Hi-Point.
Oh, it's awesome.
So when I hooked in with those guys, I called my brothers. I'm like, check this shit out. Do you remember when we saw this magazine? And they were like, yeah, we remember that, because it was funny. We all laughed. Like, what gun company in Ohio? I was like, yeah, I work for them now. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, it's Hi-Point Firearms. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, they make budget guns. They work. They work insanely well. They're like, no shit. I'm like, yeah, like it's crazy. So I myself have been, that naysayer.
Yeah.
Never having touched one, never even shot one, never used it. Just came from Ohio. That can't be worth a shit. Wow. Couldn't be more wrong.
The way that I think about it is there's probably going to be somebody listening to this who's going to be like, no, there's absolutely no reason to buy a Hi-Point, and they're X, Y, and Z guns or whatever. But the way that I see it is like, we're all used to, I look at me when I get into my 2019 Subaru Outback, and it's got adjustable cruise control, and it's got Apple CarPlay and heated seats and stuff like that. And you're like, this is a car. This is the standard to which a car should be. And then you get into like a carbureted Chevy C10 pickup from the 70s. But it starts right up. It goes when you press the gas. It stops when you press the brake. It turns fine. All the blinkers work, all the lights work and stuff like that. And you get out of it and you're like, all right, I didn't have my Apple CarPlay and I didn't have my heated seats, but it still got me here. And, it's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's more appropriate, at least in my experience with Hi-Points, like more appropriate way to describe a Hi-Point, because it does everything that you want a gun to do, I think. But at the price point, like maybe not some of the finesse of the other more expensive like duty pistols that you might get, like a Glock 19 or an M&P 9 or something like that. I mean, I'm not even talking like race guns and stuff like that, but that's typically the experience that I've had with them. And I've probably shot them a handful of times, but each one feels exactly the same. Each one shoots exactly the same, in my opinion. Like I've shot the 9 and the 40.
They're reliably boring. They're reliably boring.
But you get what you get what you get. Like, what you're going to get when you buy one. And I feel like that to me is, especially now with like the SIG drama, that to me is like, hey, knowing what you get when you buy it is honestly probably the best thing that you could ever ask for.
Yeah, ours isn't going to go off if you drop it or holster it wrong.
No. Yeah, that's a whole, man. It's just like every time I see somebody at the range and they have a SIG, whether it's a P320 or not, we kind of give each other this look like, yes, how about that SIG? It's like marketing what not to do. But
right. Yeah, I said I've got a buddy. He has a X5 Legion, which I will say, of all the SIG drama, I've not heard anything confirmed of any stories of that discharge shit happening with an X5 Legion. Maybe something is different in the control group in Legion. I don't know. But a buddy of mine who he gets out with us, shoots a couple times a year. So I kind of message him. He's not super like into all the shit that we are with watching what's going on. So I was like, hey man, just let you know. I was like, let's go on with these guns. It's like, next time you come out with us, we're going to treat you kind of USPSA style. You're going to be always empty and holstered. You will charge up when it's your turn to shoot the course of fire. I was like, and when you're done, you'll unload the holster up. I was like, just on our precaution. And he's like, yeah, it's cool, man. It's fine. Well, shit. Then a week later, my club was like, yep, we've officially banned the 320 from our facility entirely. You cannot bring a 320 to my club. I was like, all right, dude. Well, I'm not going to say get rid of your gun, but maybe you should buy something else too. And have something else to shoot with us. He was like, yeah, I'll look into something else. I'm like, okay.
It sucks for a lot of people who,
sorry,
did the research, or like, I need a gun that's going to be reliable and safe and practical, and settled on a P320, and all of this shit came out, and now they're like, I got to buy another gun? Like, what do you mean?
I mean, and especially if they're not really big gun people in the first place, like you said, they did research and that is like their primary handgun or it is their primary gun in general. And now they're like, shit, don't I keep this damn thing?
Do all guns do this? Like what other guns are gonna like that's crazy to think about because I didn't even think about it like that. If that's your first gun, you're like, this is it. I'm gonna be it's like you're getting your first girlfriend and she's a psycho. You're like, oh, are they all like this? Like,
always how it goes.
Do they all keep knives under their pillows? Like that's not that that's ever happened to me.
No comment.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone is wonderful in their own way and has something that they bring to the table for a very special, specific person. If that's you,
right? Oh my god.
Oh man, honey, if you're listening to this right now, I'm so glad that you're my wife. That's not my wife that kept the knife under the pillow. I just lucked out.
Sure.
I could have had a crazy after a crazy after a crazy, but
we all could have. It's easy to do. That.
Some people get stuck in that trap. I don't know what it is. Some people attract crazy. Some people also though are really good at gaslighting and are the crazy themselves.
Yes.
And drive their significant others crazy and end up saying, "See, they're crazy. Look at that. They always find me." Well, maybe.
Dude, you're a little
maybe
off,
it's
man.
you.
You're a little off, you know.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's so funny because I have so many other Hi-Point focused questions that I want to talk about now, but it's stay professional.
Go for it, man.
Stay professional. Let's go.
Oh hell, we're derailed plenty of times. Just go for it.
Yeah, oh, sorry. I got a notification and I thought it was that Andrew was joining. And no, it's just telling me that my recording quality is going to be better in the end product. Thanks. Appreciate that, Script. I don't think that requires a pop-up to tell me that, but
you need to distract you.
Yeah, seriously. Well, it's like sticking out just behind my camera to where I have to look around to go see it.
Nice.
Yeah, super nice. What do you carry?
Depends on the day.
Fair.
For the last while, I've changed up between carrying my Springfield Echelon and a HK VP9. More recently, I've been carrying a SIG 365 X Macro.
Nice.
Just depends. Like I changed it up for the hell of it.
I love the VP9, man. Some people don't. Some people like they're not sold on it. VP9 is probably one of the most comfortable guns I've ever shot.
The VP9 was the most comfortable gun I shot until I bought the Echelon.
Oh, okay. I've never shot the Echelon.
And the Echelon. So like I've got a VP9 tactical. I've had it for years. I've carried it. I carried it for years. It was my, my range gun. It was my training gun. It was my competition gun. And then the Echelon dropped, and I got to borrow a buddy's. And because I was like, man, it's an XD 3.0. I'm like, let me play with that thing. He sent it to me. First time I grabbed it, I was kind of like, oh shit, like this feels really good. And I go and I shot it, and I was like, oh shit, this thing shoots really, really well. And then I think I proceeded to shoot it for like 1,500 rounds before he's like, hey man, can I get my Echelon back? I was like, no. I took a picture of me licking it. I was like,
awesome.
See, it's mine now. And he's like, dude, I don't care. He's like, I still want it. So I was like, damn it, dude, you made me buy one of these things. And I bought it, and I've put, I don't know how many thousands of rounds are mine. But then when HK dropped the VP9, the FA1, so it's the no finger grooves new model, I was like, I want to get one of those. Got one of those right after SHOT Show, actually. Got it. And I was like, oh, it's sweet because it's just a hair longer. Same size as P30L now. So I was like, yes, I really like that. Shooting it, it shoots great. But in general, as I'm holding it, I'm like, man, this thing feels great. Echelon still feels better. Like, they really did their homework on that gun. Like, anything you would, if you get a Glock and you send it to like, it doesn't matter anymore. I'd say agency, but Jesus, they still do Glock mods. But you send a Glock to anybody and have them undercut the trigger guard, retexture the thing, put gas pedals into the frame. All that, the Echelon has it stock out of the box.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best service pistols out there now, really and truly, in my opinion.
Oh, that's cool to know. I don't know anybody around me, like in my close circle of friends, that carries an Echelon. So it's nice to hear when somebody actually has a good experience with it. And like, that looks sick, man. That's yeah. What do you have? What do you have, an Acro on there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great shooting gun.
Yeah, I have to rent one at the range or find, because I don't have a friend who, I have tons of my friends shoot Canics. I don't know what it is like around me. They're like, I mean, to be fair, I've shot a couple of them, and they are nice shooting guns.
Same.
But
Yeah.
But like, I have 3 friends who I go to the range with, probably more than any other people on average, and their carry guns are Canics. So that they always bring their Canics, and they've got Glocks too. But I've shot the shit out of Canics. I don't have a friend that has an Echelon yet.
I mean, and I get it. The Canic, you're getting a lot of gun, a lot of value for the money. Honestly, like the kits they sell between like the holster, mag holster, the amount of mags you get with it, it's a solid deal. But a friend of mine, it's a couple I've shot USPSA with. His wife has run Canic for years, and I think I was running my buddy's Echelon when I was borrowing it. They're like, dude, what are you shooting? I was like, oh, Springfield Echelon. And they're like, dude, it's really flat shooting. I'm like, it's insanely flat shooting. A month later, the next match, buddy's wife, who's been running the Canic for years, and at times when she shoot, man, it looks like she's just like a Desert Eagle. I'm like, God, does she really know what she's doing? Like, but you talk to her and she does. It's like, what the hell, dude? She comes out with the Echelon, and her targets went from like her hits with this to this.
Wow.
Just with the gun change. I was like, holy shit, what did you change? She goes, oh, just the Echelon. I was like, holy hell. I was like, because the Canics are snappy.
Yeah.
Like, and compared to the Echelon is so flat. So it's like, if you get the Canic and you run the Canics, cool, great. If you can control it and you can drive it, awesome. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those, I have nothing against them. I've shot a few of them, but it's like, there is a better platform out there.
Yeah, no,
the Echelon is definitely, or the VP9 both.
I'm gonna have to try out the Echelon because that makes me excited to shoot one. I've got my 19 that I got. Well, I have an M&P 40 actually. That is my daily carry. I know. I've had this gun forever. And at this point,
I'm laughing with you.
I really, dude. I know. And it's funny. I even got the 9 conversion barrel for it, and the 9 mags, so that when I go to the range, I can do it. But the mags that I have for it that are 40, I have 15 round mags, and I live in Connecticut, so I bought the gun before the ban went through. So I still have those mags. Now the 9mm conversion, I need to just buy a 9. I have a Glock 19 that I got for 9mm. So that's what I shoot when I want to shoot 9. But my carry gun is the 40, and I know it's like it's a joke at this point. But I've just had it for so long, it's like part of me. I'm so used to carrying it, and I carry it appendix. It's like
in the end, there's nothing wrong with it.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like from the like the halls of Fudlore back when 40 was like the golden round, because they were like, oh, it's a good mix between stopping power and capacity, and that's exactly why I bought it. When I first got into guns, I was like, that makes total sense. Thanks for telling me that. And fast forward a couple of years, and I was like, wow, there's no reason to have this. But
I have one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I only have one, to be fair. I only have 140. That is my only.
But you still carry it and shoot it.
I still carry and shoot it.
Still
carry and shoot it. Yeah, I know. Speaking of carry guns, man. So the reason I asked you what you carry, because it's I want to see where Hi-Point falls in with this stuff. And do you see Hi-Point as more of a first step for new gun owners, or something people stick with long term? Because there's the range of people who own Hi-Points it is wide.
It's wide.
Yes,
it's insanely wide. So there is no clear cut answer on that one. No, there are a metric ton of people. It's their first step, like doing NRA shows, the GAOS, GunCon, or we were just at Goals, any public shows like that. The amount of people that come up and tell us that was their first gun. Some still have it, some don't. Some got rid of their handgun, but bought the carbine, still have the carbine. That's still a regular range gun with them. The handgun, it's just a mixed bag, and depends. But then there's people that come up and they've gotten like bit by a bug, and they buy multiple of our handguns. Maybe now to the point they've got a buddy that's got a mill, and they're milling their own optics and optic cuts and milling their own slide cuts and shit into it, and having fun with it because it was inexpensive.
Yeah.
So no, it's all across the board. I mean, I have people come up to me at the GOS show in Harrisburg. They're like, yeah, I carry my Hi-Point every day. I'm like, Jesus, dude, you're gonna be like hip dysplasia eventually, with that shit. But it literally is everything, man. Like, people carry it all the time, but a lot of people, it's their first gun. It just depends, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. That's I've yet to find someone around me who carries one, but I'm sure they're out there. And it's like one of those things. It's like when you say, it's like, well, I've never been around a house with a chain link fence before. It's like, well, you're kind of outing yourself as upper middle class there or something like that. Because I feel like in like maybe not in my more rural area that I live in, but I feel like in certain neighborhoods, a Hi-Point is going to be way more common because it's going to be what is the most affordable and most available for people there.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of stuff I think it's really cool because we come from the perspective of everyone has the right to defend themselves, regardless of who you are, where you come from, and importantly, what income bracket you're in. We see this all the time, like with the NFA. They want to actually, one of our senators, Murphy, I think it was Murphy from Connecticut, wanted to increase the tax stamp price to like $4,000 to go up to what it would be with inflation. And it's like, dude,
what a load of shit.
I get it. Like you want to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, but at some point, just say you hate poor people. Like, I don't know how you could say, you'd say we need to increase funding to the inner cities because he's a Democratic senator. So I guarantee you, which I don't disagree with. We also need to do that. But like I guarantee you he's proposed a plan or supported a bill that has increased funding to help disenfranchised people. But at the same time, now you're going to make something that somebody is going to use to defend themselves unaffordable. And granted, like we're talking about suppressors and things like that. We're not talking about the gun. Right. But what do you think the next step is? If that goes through.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. Price it out so nobody can afford it because they want to be elite and only they should have it or have access to it, not the rest of us.
They tried that with tax on ammo in our state too, and it got beat 2 years in a row. Thankfully, we have a CCDL in our state, which does a ton of very good lobbying work, and they do a lot of like on the ground stuff. But they're literally just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and a lot of it, unfortunately, comes in the form of exorbitant purchasing fees or taxes, as they call it. They want to fund violence prevention programs with the taxes. Well, maybe if you listen to us in the first place, we could actually figure out where these problems are coming from, and you wouldn't need to tax law-abiding gun owners in order to fund your programs. But this is, what I'm saying is, I think it's great that there is a gun that you can buy off the shelf for an affordable price, or they're like $150.
I mean, MSRP is like $200 for the most part.
I've seen them on sale for like $150.
$150, $175. But the killer part too is I don't know if you realize this though, is the lifetime warranty on the guns. It is true, no hassle, no bullshit lifetime warranty. So the reality is, if you can see a used Hi-Point, and it's obviously if it's under $100 or whatever, don't hesitate. If you need to defend yourself, get that thing. You can send it to the factory. They'll rebuild the thing. They'll refurbish it, go over it, and send it back to you. And it's been reworked and it's brand new. I mean, they'll leave the barrel to the frame, but other than that, to me, a brand new gun. I tell dealers that shit. I'm like, don't turn it down. Because you can get this thing, refurbish it, and sell it for more money than what you put into it by a long shot. And they're like,
you can do that for free,
and you're still selling an inexpensive gun. I mean, you got cost you in shipping.
Yes, okay, that's insane.
To send it out to them, and that's it.
That's crazy. So you can buy a used Hi-Point from a pawn shop in unknown condition and send it to Hi-Point.
Yep.
Assuming it's not blown up or so. Well, no, like lifetime warranty that covers everything.
Lifetime warranty.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like we've had guns that have been run over by bulldozers, and so they cracked the frame and destroyed it. Kind of got replaced. We've had a house fire. The frame was most part melted and destroyed, but the cylinder plate was intact. Replaced the gun.
Wow.
The one I've been seeing recently floating around on X, somebody quoted it wrong, said 9mm. It was a 45 auto. One of the carbines, so it's a 17.5-inch barrel, and they stacked 35 rounds of 45 auto in the barrel.
Wow.
Because the gun just quit working. We replaced it.
Like they just kept trying to fire it or something? Or
I think if it's the same one I'm thinking of, the guy's note said he couldn't ever get the gun dialed in, couldn't even get it on paper. And it was like, okay, what are the chances as a very older gentleman who's using anything like hand loads and had that one squib and just started stacking rounds into it. And just, it was literally, tip to end stacked with rounds.
How did he not like blow the thing up in his face?
I don't know.
Wow.
Because the guns are built like tanks.
That's crazy.
I think there was a couple cracks in the barrel, a couple splits, and that was it. He was none the wiser.
Brother.
But yeah, so that guy, his gun will get replaced. But the kicker part too is on top of that is, yeah, like you said, you buy a used gun. The gun can have 100 different owners. The gun's always covered. Always.
That's pretty incredible, man. I mean, you know, like I've got this thought in my head. Well, how do you guys make money if people are just sending their shit in to get refurbished all the time? Well, it's probably because they're not doing that because they don't need to.
They're not. You're right. They're not. I think our repair rate is like 2%.
Wow.
Something like that. So it's extremely low. I mean, yeah, the jokes will come in and go, oh, it's because the people chucked it in the river. It's like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah, I mean, that, like,
you're fine.
Listen, we know the memes. Like, you're clearly aware of the memes. You know, there's I mean, there's not even just memes, but there's like, here's the thing though, you know, like there's always a double-edged sword when you're going to make something affordable that somebody can use to defend themselves with. Whether, you know, we see this in the UK with kitchen knives because kitchen knives aren't outlawed.
Oh God, yeah.
And like, so everyone can get a kitchen knife.
Right.
The Hi-Point is the kitchen knife.
Go Michael Myers.
Yeah, exactly. Like we found this 8-inch kitchen knife on a crime scene and they're like shaking in my boots. But like, the Hi-Point is there you go. That's listen, you're making the royalty.
That's dangerous for the Brits.
Yeah, that's horrible right there. Yeah. The Hi-Point is like the kitchen knife of the gun world in the US. Like, and literally anybody can get one if you need one.
Anybody can get it.
So you're going to see them in crime scene photos. You're going to see them pulled up from riverbeds and stuff like that. Like it's
and what's funny too is I think last time I saw a report for like traced guns, we actually weren't, I think, even in the top 5.
Really?
So like we've been downgraded. Yeah, there's other like you've got a bunch of old Smith revolvers are always high up in there. Glocks are always high up in there. We're typically high up in there. And I'm trying to think what the hell was it, but I think like the C9 was not even in the top 5. And we were like, hey, there's some progress.
You get a plaque and put it on the wall for that one. We're not the top 5. That's awesome.
I think it's just some of the people that usually are using stolen guns. They've decided they want more high capacity stuff, you know, versus ours is 8 to 10 rounds. So it's like, yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can put a switch on it yet.
No.
Not yet. No. Not yet? Is it in the process? In the works?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
How do you guys deal with that kind of stuff, like that kind of negative publicity and that thought that people have when they think of Hi-Point? They think of like this is the crime gun, or this is like the cheap, like this is a throwaway gun. Because, you know, it sounds like outside of that, it's a reliable, solidly built firearm, and I feel like it kind of gets you know, it's like the redheaded stepchild that sleeps under the stairs like Harry Potter and doesn't really get appreciated if that's the case. How do you guys, is there any kind of like concerted effort to change that marketing wise or another?
I mean, we're always, especially doing stuff like this, or I'm talking to you, giving you the information straight as it is. That's one part of it. Some parts of it, you can't change people's minds to some degree because they're always going to look at it as it's cheap. They want to spend $1,000 for a handgun. So this cheap ass thing, they're never going to touch it. And that's fine. We're not going to try and sell to them. You know, if they come to us on social media, we're going to correct them. We're going to have a conversation if they're willing. But that's the problem too. As soon as you go online, you're dealing with keyboard commandos. They know best.
Oh, we know.
You know? So you can't argue with stupid in that sense. A lot of times you just let it go. Don't even acknowledge them. The ones that come up to us at shows, I have a little fun with it. Like you get a group of guys come up, 4 or 5 of them, and the one guy, he'll make a snide joke pointing at the gun, and we'll snap and call him out. Like, oh, really? What's wrong with our gun, man? Like, what? Like, yeah, I heard you're dogging my gun. Like, what's wrong with it? And his buddies are like, oh, dude, you just got called out. It's like, yeah, what's wrong, man? Well, they blow up. And I'm like, show me. Well, there's videos. Videos where? On the internet. I'm like, show me, dude. Find me one right now. Find me one where somebody's using their gun as it's intended and it blows up. I was like, because they don't exist. And they're like, well, I watched this video one time with this guy. He like rammed the thing down into it and it blew up. And I was like, you mean somebody was trying to destroy it? You can destroy anything, dude. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
But for its operation of how it works, no, they've never blown up. They just don't. They're built like tanks. And a lot of times, if they're open-minded, then you see them, they drop their cool guy attitude and they're like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man. And then we have a real conversation with it.
Yeah.
And they walk away pretty much like, wait a minute, I can buy this gun for $200 or less and you're going to warranty it forever. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, dude, why don't I have one of these things just to have it like in my garage? And I was like, I don't know. Why don't you, man? You probably should at this point, you know? So a lot of face-to-face stuff, like you can do that. But when it comes to keyboard commanding it,
yeah, the internet's tough.
how much do you want to waste your time?
Exactly.
How much do you want to waste your time fighting with dumb shit? You know?
Some days I want to waste my time
up.
a little bit more than others, but people will message me and
Some days.
some days I don't know what it is. Like I don't have anything better to do, which I clearly don't if I'm doing that kind of stuff. But people will message me and they'll be like, "Why do you interact with people like this?" I'm like, because for every 10 or 15 people that I interact with who are unserious and doing it just to troll, I'll reach one person who will actually take something out of it. And I feel like that makes it worth it.
A lot of times I say our fans are good about it too, though. If somebody like, especially if they're coming to our pages, our social media shit, and they're dogging us, I don't have to say a thing.
Yeah.
Our fans jump on like piranhas. They're like, dude, you are stupid. You are a retard. It was like, do you not know what this gun's capable of? And I just sit back and read the comments and laugh, go, all right, that one's good. I'll keep scrolling. I don't need to read anymore. They got it, So
it's like when
the fans do a lot of it too.
It's like when we had a guy that at our fire department who was known for being the butt of some jokes. He was a great guy and a very nice guy, but he would say something sometimes where we'd just be like, "Oh my God, like what?" We went on a call once and there was this it was like a 90-something-year-old woman who was not feeling well. And he asked her verbatim, "When was the last time you went poopy?" And she looked at him and she said, "Who the fuck is this guy? Get me an adult." And we were like, dude, you deserve every bit of that. Why did you use that word? And we make fun of him like till the end of the day. But as soon as somebody else makes fun of him, as soon as somebody else talks shit, people jump on him. Like, listen, he may be an idiot, but he's our idiot. Okay. Like you shut the fuck up.
Right.
Okay. And I feel like, not that I'm saying Hi-Point's the idiot, but it's like, we know what we have. We don't need you to say lies about it. Like it's like, I miss that guy.
That's awesome. Let's you know poopy.
Yeah. When was the last time you went poopy? And we all just kind of like, it was like the record scratched. And then she reacted completely appropriately. How we were all thinking.
That's hilarious.
There is no shortage of people out there who will jump on. You know what it is? Because I feel like people like to talk shit to make themselves feel better about certain things. And regardless of whether that's a gun company or like, I think of our social media page, like we're big on inclusion and trying to get people from different walks of life into the gun community who typically haven't been marketed to or haven't been made to feel like they're welcome. And people will look at that and they'll just go and take it to 100. They'll be like, "You're arming our enemies." And that's a big popular one.
Here's one for you. We had, God, when did we do it? A year or two ago? Maybe 2 years ago. But we did it was our old school C9. It's the old 9mm handgun. We released a blue sparkle slide, a pink sparkle slide, and a white sparkle slide. I mean, they were glittery.
I've seen them.
They were super bright. Yeah, they're glittery as shit. And the moment we dropped all three of them, the release, it was like the same time the trans flag was announced. It was the pastel blue, white, pink.
Yes.
And somebody was like, "Oh, fucking Hi-Point's going all woke." And we were like, first off, fuck you. Two, these are color options. If one of those options fits you, cool. If it doesn't, it's fine too. We have other options to choose from. If you're trying to say because of our timing of this release, we're not paying attention to what's going on through every single day of, bullshit out there. If the pride flag has become now this flag, not the rainbow flag now, but now it's the trans flag was.
Yeah.
The trans flag is released. This is it. And we dropped our guns to the color scheme. It's called coincidence. We don't give a shit. We're in the market of selling guns to people that want to buy guns. And if a color pattern fits them, that's what it's for. We don't give a shit who you are. And people were like, "Oh, this wasn't like a trans thing." We're like, no, it's called color.
Can you imagine that as like
color,
a marketing scheme though? Like Subaru was the first car company to advertise in like a gay magazine back in the 80s or 90s. So I think there's maybe some untapped market there for Hi-Point.
You know what? Everybody deserves to be armed. Everybody should be
that's
armed.
how I feel.
Just look at the guns flat out as is. Like, And it's funny, like a color thing too. Obviously, what's our target with that whole color was women.
Yeah.
And like different colors. They don't like black guns. But the reality is, like my wife.
A lot of women like black guns.
Go through like,
I know what you mean.
But you go to a house and look at a house, go, oh, the color of the house was terrible. My wife would look at it and go, it's fucking paint. Just change the color of it. And I was like, look at guns the same way.
Yes.
If you don't like the way it looks, you can paint it any color you want. It's all available. Like it doesn't matter.
That's cool.
So by God, if we're a factory, we offer options. Come on.
Yeah, no, I think options are never a bad thing. Like when I bought my Glock 19 in the, what is it? The 19X, where it comes in the dual color slide, not the one that's milled for. I got it milled after the fact for an optic, unfortunately, from somebody who I don't think knew what he was doing, but
look at that part. Sucks.
Yeah. No, it's not that he didn't know what he was doing. It's that I bought an optic for it. I bought the lead and steel Pandora for it. And he said I couldn't do like a native mill to the slide. It had to be on a plate. And I said, well, that's not true. My friend has one that's milled to the slide. And he said, oh, no, we can't do that because the material on top's not thick enough. I said, okay, you do you. I was like, maybe it's a different Glock. Maybe it's like a different slide. It turns out it's the exact same slide, and he just didn't have the machine that could do that. And I was like, well, that would have been nice to know before I paid you to do this.
Yeah, no shit. Ouch.
Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. I could always get another slide and do it again, but it's not the point,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do think people just tend to shit on things to make themselves feel better when they don't have. I think if you don't have merits that you're proud of, then you immediately go to look to shit on somebody else. You lift yourself up by stepping on somebody else's shoulders. And regardless of whether that's Hi-Point or, the motives for making an inclusive gun community, the way that I see it is like nobody should be against that kind of thing. The more, whether it's making guns in different colors or making a community that is accepting of people from different backgrounds, at the end of the day, you're getting more people into the gun space. And especially in a environment where politics are what they are, you want more people voting pro-gun, and not that we're going to get Democrats to vote conservative, but if you get Democrats to say like, hey, lady or sir, who is my representative, this doesn't jive well with me, your position here, and you get a bunch of people in that area to do that because they're all new gun owners because they've all bought a gun that they can identify with and found a community that they can shoot with. That's a winning end game right there. And so I don't know. I see these people that talk shit about they're going to pick. That's what they're going to pick to be upset about that day is that a gun company made their gun in pink, white, and blue.
And they didn't like that. That made them angry. Okay, well, get over yourself.
Go cry outside.
Seriously. Yeah.
I started telling my dog to build a bridge when he gets upset that he can't go out. Like I take him out. It's so goofy because this was before my daughter was born, actually. So I don't know why I even just said I started saying it. This was like 3 years ago. I started saying this to my dog, and my wife was like, "Are you talking shit to Finn, like my Chihuahua?" And he'd cry about something.
The dog never replied to you?
Yeah, he would never reply. No, of course not. Like he'd cry and he'd be like, "Build a bridge, Finn." And I just walk but that's probably the same mentality. I was probably just upset about something and I needed to talk shit to someone who couldn't defend themselves. This poor dog, man.
Poor Finn.
I know. He's on, oh man, what is it? What's the anti-anxiety medication that you give people? The super popular one. Man, not Plavix. Anyway, he's on an anti-anxiety medication now, and there's a joke somewhere on that about putting a Chihuahua on it. Chihuahua. Yeah, but he's like a better dog. It's like a person. Imagine that. You start living without anxiety, ruining your life, and you're like a better human being. Same thing with a dog.
I'm just thinking of the dog just constantly shaking.
No, dude, he would just growl at everything. He would come over to me like he was going to show me some love. He'd put his head on my leg, and then as soon as I touched him, he'd be growling at me. And I'd be like, what the fuck do you want, dude? Like, mixed signals.
Right.
Oh, man.
Okay, what do you want from me?
Super weird. And it's not even like a scary thing because do you have one dog now or do you have more?
One now.
Yeah, so
one
you've got a
now. I had
lab.
3.
So like if a lab growls at you, you take it seriously. You're like, okay, dude. He
Yeah.
growls, and I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, what do you think?
What are you gonna do?
You need to practice self-preservation.
Grab you.
Yes, seriously. Like you're not, man.
That's funny.
Anyway. Yeah, so you guys just came out with the HP 15. That's cool as shit. I'm gonna have to shoot one of those. What I love about Hi-Point is like you've had pretty much the same lineup. I mean, you had the pistol first, right, and then the carbine, right? And
well, I mean, they've changed a little bit, but yeah, but the carbine, like generically, the carbine came out 95 in 9mm, and 40 cal shortly followed, and then the 45 came with a stock redesign in 2010. And then 18 to 10mm dropped, which came with a lot of features that have now rolled into all of them with threaded barrels across the board. And then the handguns, though, were pretty much unchanged until the whole YC9 thing.
Yeah.
So the handguns sat for like 20 years unchanged.
This is perfect example. A gun company that listens to the people. You have a gun called the fucking Yeet Cannon. Like this. Tell me this is not a gun company that wants to do good by its customers. So what did you guys change about the Yeet Cannon, like design wise?
It's a lot. I mean, it's a total redesign, but there's still some similar ideas behind it because it's still blowback action, still barrels fixed to the frame, just like the YC9. Opened the grip up though, so it's a whole new magazine. So like the base mags were single stack 8 rounds, YC9's 10 rounds. Working on maybe having some higher caps for that. But then the main thing was adding a threaded barrel becoming standard. Adding the front sight's no longer part of the slide because it was molded into the slides mixture because it's a C-Mac slide. Now it's replaceable and they're compatible with Glock front sight posts.
Oh, wow.
Rear sights have always been fully adjustable, but now they're optic ready. So you take the whole base out and we have optic plates you can drop in. Right now it's just the RMSC footprint. Eventually we're going to roll out the RMR footprint at some point. Then one of the things we're always known for is the guns have a rattle. Like you shake them, you literally hear like a fucking paint can rattling. And all that really was is a sear drop safety. So again, unlike some other brands, if you holster them wrong, they'll go off. Hi-Point wouldn't do that because of this rattle in it. But that's kind of an annoying thing. So they changed it into a grip safety. Some people don't like it. Some people do. Doesn't matter. We don't rattle anymore because we have a grip safety.
Still serves the same purpose.
Exactly. I like a 1911 or a 2011, so grip safety doesn't bother me one bit. And then let's see, the palm swell is reversible now. You do flatter rounded, so you can go like that point. It's like 1911, versus 1911 A1.
That's cool.
Legit Picatinny rail we added into it because before you could mount 0 accessories other than our own particular laser mount for only the 40-45. Now this with all the guns, they have actual pick rail on the bottom of them, so you can mount pretty much whatever you want. Yep. But just literally brought it was taking the C9 and evolving it into a 21st century pistol and still being a $200 gun. That's really all it was.
Yeah, that's nuts. It's I don't even know if I want to ask this question because I feel like I'm going to ask it because I already said it, and this is the point of a podcast. No. I just think that the gun world's full of high-end features and constant upgrades and updates to everything. Right. There's a new model of the same gun coming out like every other year. They're like iPhones at this point. And right. I feel like there is something about a gun company just focusing on making the same thing over and over again and making it reliable the first time and just churning those things out over decades, literally at this point.
Right.
And I know you made changes and the YC9's out now and whatnot, but you made the HP 15. Is there anything in Hi-Point's future that you could think of past that you're allowed to talk about?
No.
Okay.
not that I can talk about.
Okay.
They've had plans from the moment the YC9 was debuted as a 3D printed prototype in SHOT 2019. From that point on, they've had plans of new things they want to do, new firearms, maybe heavy alterations of previous firearms, like the AR-15, doing that. That was something we talked about for several years, watching the market grow as it did. But it was like, no, we're going to do an AR, partly because we're Hi-Point Firearms. We don't always have to always be just these guns, So you never know what you're going to see out of us. I know a few things in the works, but yeah, I can't say shit on them.
When you guys coming out with a parts kit?
I can tell you there is no AK-47 and there is no parts kits.
All right. I know we had some people. There's some people listening to this that are probably screaming at me to ask you that, because we asked you that
always asking
on the episode on the interview when we were at SHOT Show, and we could never release it because we didn't have any fucking audio.
I did that even at the Gold Show, which was just 2 weeks ago or whatever. A couple guys come up and they're like, "Hey, you guys can do parts kits?" I just completely played dumb. I was like, "What?" It's like, parts kits. And I went, what do you mean a parts kit? The guy looked at me like, "Dude, like parts kits, like build my own gun." I was like, "Build your own gun?" I'm like, "Dude, what are you talking about?
How do you build a gun?"
He'd look at me like, yeah, you tell this guy's just like dumbfounded going, "Oh shit, this guy's no idea." And I finally started laughing. I was like, "Dude, you want a parts kits? Go buy used gun. Go buy used gun, send it in, have them rebuild it. You have brand new parts. There's your parts
there
kit."
You go.
Like, we're not selling parts kits. But yeah, but parts kits. And I go back, I'm like, "Dude, does Glock sell parts kits?" He's like, well, I'm just saying you guys. Like, does Glock sell parts kits? No. I was like, okay, nobody does. Like, it's not happening, pal. Well, you guys could be the first. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I was like, move along, man. Move along. Let's talk about something else.
How often do you get asked that?
In person at shows, not that often. Like, it's a handful of people at a show.
Is it like
on X all the time?
Yeah.
All the time.
I can imagine for you guys at this point, it's probably like being a server in a restaurant and walking up to like a completely cleared plate, and the person at the table saying, "I hated it. Can't you tell?" You're just like, you just gotta roll with it and roll your eyes and be like, yes, sir. That's great.
I will say every now and again, I do kind of egg it on a little bit. I haven't logged into here. Even on X, like I threw out a picture. It was with HP-15 too.
You guys need to do like an April Fool's Day parts kit ad.
Yeah, that'd probably melt the internet down. That's not going to happen.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here it is. Yeah. So I posted this one up on the 15th. This is HP-15, how you configure one. And then after the bottom, it says no parts kits.
Nice.
Just to throw a jab out there. It's like, nope, no parts kits.
All right. Man, so we're getting up to an hour now. What do you, I have, like I said, we're never going to get to all these questions.
I'll go for a little more.
All right. I've got more. It's like, this is the thing. We end up talking. Our last episode that we did was with Jay Drago from like he does some stuff with Kushiki Co. and Commando Store and stuff. Actually, I don't think he does anything with Commando Store anymore, but super cool dude. He was like, "Yeah, let's keep it to an hour." We were like an hour and 40 minutes into it, and he was like, "I got to go soon," and I was like, "Dude, we could have gone in an hour. I gave you an out."
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's easily done.
It is. Yeah, I keep thinking back to this, the thought that people have when they hear Hi-Point. They think of cheap and everywhere. If there was something beyond price and beyond, like the prevalency of them in pictures and whatnot, what would you hope that people thought of when they thought of Hi-Point?
Honestly, just that they are affordable and reliable for everybody.
Yeah.
That really is it, which just comes back to the core message of it. If we're arming anybody that needs the protection of a firearm, because the Second Amendment is for everybody, that's really it. Like, you're always going to have I think it's cheap, people, but at the same time, the numbers don't lie. When you add up our manufacturing facilities, we're usually in the top 10 firearm producers in the country. Like, I also like to say too, you don't stay in business for 35 years making a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like you just,
that's crazy, man. Because I'll admit, like I was one of those people at one point where I was like, yeah, Hi-Points are shitty guns because they're cheap. Like, you think they're cheap, they're shitty because they're cheap. They're cheap because they're shitty. But it's you guys have the lifetime warranty. You're not getting a ton of them back. And I really I've never personally heard of one blowing up. I've never heard of one stop working. Like, it's just
they don't.
It's like internet lore. Yep.
The only catastrophic failure I can tell you I've seen is it was on a 40 cal of all things. Go figure. All that high pressure. I think it just had because right, but because our slides, they're not stainless steel. They're Z-Max. They're cast slides, and there's a picture of the slide busted in two. But you can clearly see what's what's in this spot we're busted? Air bubbles. There's just too many air bubbles, and it was right around the breech. So the action running, it just broke.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's still covered. It's still replaced, you know. And that thing, those images are floating around. Dude, this is pushing 15 years ago.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was super old. I've never heard of one even breaking like that. I mean, again, if you want to destroy something,
yeah,
that's easily done. I've had a dude, he shot his gun, he was out of ammo. He then threw it at the steel target, and it busted the frame. And he called me up. He was like, dude, I broke my Hi-Point that you sent me. I was like, what'd you do? I threw the steel target. I went, well, that was fucking stupid, wasn't it? He's like, well, I didn't think it was going to break. I'm like, you ever thrown a Glock like that, dude? No. You ever thrown a 1911 like that? No. I was like, so why'd you throw mine? Because it was cheap. I was like, I call the factory. It's like, what? I said, I'm not dealing with this. Call the factory. They'll fix your gun. Okay. I was like, you can put in your review then. They fixed the gun. Okay.
I
Sorry,
threw my gun
man.
at a steel target, broke it, and they fixed it.
And they did. And they did.
Yeah.
I mean, but somehow even that bit of a story still falls by the wayside. It's the humor. People laugh. Oh, but he threw at the target and it broke. Like, but how often are you throwing your gun at a target?
Yeah, exactly.
That comes into the joke. That's the joke I hear. The one thing I would change is I fucking hate this joke. Every public show, they come up and they grab it and they shake it like this. They go, yeah, if you're on ammo, you can always just throw it at them. And now I look at them and go, really, dude? I would just reload. Like, why are you going to throw a gun at somebody?
Be like that
Reload
scene
the
from
thing.
Saving
And they
Private
go,
Ryan.
You're right. I should probably reload it. People.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I think a lot of people just want to. Well, you know what it is? There's no shortage of FUD lore in the firearms industry,
Yes.
and in the same way that I used to have a dude that I rode motorcycles with, who swore there was a practical reason for this. Is like, it makes me cringe to even say this out loud. There was a practical reason for him staggering hollow point with ball ammo in his magazine. Dude,
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I have some Skittles mags, but it's because it's a mix of different hollow. Oh yeah, this is right here. Like, I've got, I don't know. There's something in this one,
but they're all hollow
There's a
points.
different one, but they're all hollow
Yes.
points. So yeah, there's probably 4 different hollow points in here, but they're all hollow points. But yeah, not deliberately. Stacked.
No, his
Full metal jacket hollow points.
His thought was,
God, that's
well, in
dumb.
case you need the extra penetration. I'm like, what? So you can fucking go through the kid,
Right.
You go through the person and hit the kid behind them. Like, I don't understand. And I feel
That
like
is some fun shit.
I feel like calling people out for that is the same as calling people out for the throwing comment, because there's no way that you're going to walk away from saying, you can't unsay what you just said. And I'm going to make you feel
Right.
dumb about it, because that's what you deserve right now. You deserve some tough love. I love you. I don't want you to sound this stupid again.
And that's probably why I've turned it into lately of just reload your gun, don't throw it, reload it. And they go, oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reload it. If you dumped 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, and you better be reloading anyway.
Sir,
So,
you're in
yeah,
front of your
come
wife. I don't want her to think you're going to throw a gun at somebody as an effective means of self-defense. She might divorce you.
on. Right.
She might marry the guy that's going to
Braveheart.
reload.
They throw rocks.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's like, that's really that effective? When the time comes for it, can you throw
I'm not
that rock
athletic enough
effectively?
to throw a gun and think I'm going to hurt somebody with it, because what's going to happen is I'm going to try to throw it.
I know I'm going to miss
No,
him.
I'm not even going to get close to him. I'm going to throw it and it's going to go straight down at the ground, because whenever I try to throw something hard, that's what fucking happens. I end up beaming a fucking rock or a ball at the ground like an idiot. I've done this in front of my daughter. Do you know how embarrassing that is to show her that her father is incapable of throwing a ball a distance? Like, don't just throw it at the ground. Daddy meant to do that. Daddy meant to do that. See the funny noise
that
it
was on
made?
purpose.
See how high it
That was
bounced?
on purpose.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Just reload it.
I'm gonna go change the oil on my truck and feel like a man. Yeah, it's the world's a wild place, man, and there's no shortage of idiots out there that I'm sure you have to deal with.
No.
We deal with constantly. We just recently, for the last like 3 years, we had our. Sorry, got a mustache hair in my mouth.
I get that.
Story of my life. We've had our social media comments limited to followers only, and it wasn't because we were like not wanting to deal with discourse or anything like that. It was truly because people would just come onto the page, find somebody with like pronouns in their bio or something like that, and just harass the people. And we're like, listen, we're all for discourse. Like, you want to talk shit to somebody because you don't like their ideas, that's fine. But like, in the same way that we're not going to tolerate racism, we're not going to tolerate any kind of bigotry or hate like that. So we just found that it was better just to limit comments to followers. Recently, the page has gotten much bigger. So we've got 25,000 followers now or something like that. The page is big enough now to where recently I took off that limitation and anyone can comment. But now whenever somebody comments something like that, they just get flooded with responses from people who support the page, which is like honestly the way that we got intended it to be. This is the public square.
Self-policing. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. It's the public square. If you want to sound like an idiot, you're going to look like an idiot.
Go right ahead. Yeah, reap your rewards, pal.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So it works out like that. I would love for the gun community in general to get like that one day. You know, like there's like,
I mean, it is, but only in caveats
Yes.
and in small little pockets.
Yes.
You know, the AR guys, they're into the super high end ARs, or the AR guys, they're into the super tactical SWAT elite Delta operators, Spec Ops Green, force, groups. Then that's the problem with it though, because then the high end guys and the super tactical guys, they don't mix very well, or a few of them do, but so
there's a
we still can't all come together though.
And I don't think any kind of community this big is ever going to agree on anything except for the fact that Tim Kennedy is a piece of shit.
And if you think otherwise, you're wrong.
You're wrong. That is a fall from grace that I think that's something that I have not seen people agree on. This they've been this unified on things, and I don't even know the full story. I just know that apparently he lied about a lot of stuff, and
got called out for it and caught.
Dude, but you're
that looks really stupid.
How are you part of like a special forces community, which is super small as it is, and think that you're going to get away with telling lies? These dudes,
it's some audacity.
I don't know.
It really is. I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but
don't get it.
That's why. Listen, like when people ask about my military service, I am super honest, and it is super unimpressive. So I don't try to blow it up at all, because you can look that shit up. Anyone can look that shit up. Why would you lie?
Right.
I've never fired my gun in anger before. Never mind at someone.
Right.
Maybe I'll go fire my gun and I'll get angry and go shoot into the woods. Probably not, though, because that's like that. What am I going to do after that? I'm going to be like, well, that was a waste.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was a waste of money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not getting cheaper to shoot.
No, seriously. If I'm going to get angry and go shoot some stuff, I'm going to get a shot timer and make it count. Probably at the range.
That's for real.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Anyway, I think what doctors would call this is a failure to thrive at this point in the podcast. No, we're good. I think we're reaching a natural end in the podcast where things. I think this would be a good place to end. I'm not saying failure to thrive as in it's no longer fun anymore. I'm just because I do think we could talk forever, but the other questions
I'll come back, man.
I would love to have you back when Andrew's back, also because I know he's going to. Dude, we've had really good luck with these episodes where we do like an hour and change, and it's funny because there's so much information out there. Like when we get an expert on like yourself versus somebody who's just like when we get some guy who really knows his shit like you do. No, I would say you're an expert. Like you, listen, I couldn't quote the years that Hi-Point has changed models and which developments they've made over the years. Like you're an expert in that, and I think
stay with them for 15 years.
Yes. I think that's sick. When we get somebody on like yourself, like it goes one of two ways. It's a super informational episode. Well, actually, I don't know. I guess there's a third way. The third way that we don't usually talk about, but we've never kicked an expert off the show, and we've never not published an experts episode before. Okay. We've had one episode which will never see the light of day. That was with a self-proclaimed expert, subject matter expert, that we quickly found out was not the case, and it was rough. It was hard to leave, actually. You'd think like,
I just don't pretend. I don't pretend to know shit, man.
Dude, you're good. You're good.
I know what I know, but that's it just is what it is.
I thought that this was a episode where so before we started using this recording software, we were using Riverside, and I went to go close the episode, like leave the guy, because I was like, all right, we're done. And I didn't realize that when I did that, it only closed on my screen and it left Andrew in the room with him.
Shit.
So he was like, dude, I'm still here. And then we had to
at that point be like, oh yeah, man, how's it going? And hit the next button. Like, whoops, I don't know.
But it was so funny because
actually got lost.
Then Andrew and I played it off as like, oh, I was having internet issues, because I was like, dude, in retrospect, I feel bad. I feel like I wish I was more honest, but we were new at this. We didn't know how to like do an exit like that. We had never had this experience before. So at that point, I was like, I'm having internet problems. I'm sorry, I can't come back. And Andrew was like, he's having internet problems. And the guy is just going on about this like weird. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he's doing well.
Not on another podcast. I want to.
The guy essentially said that he came on and he was like, hey, he messaged us and was like, hey, I've been red flagged before and I would love to talk about my experience. It was like falsely red flagged is what he said.
Interesting.
And we're like, okay, that would be interesting to talk about. Like we could talk about the legal process and like the weaponization of red flag laws and things like that.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's a shit show. When that happens.
No, it turns out he was like, and I feel bad even saying this, but like he was like the weird kid in his school, and his parents had guns. And he said some things, and somebody found his journal or something like that had a bunch of very like post 9/11 things that could cause concern.
Kind of damning things.
Like a reasonable person would be like, this kid shouldn't have guns in his house. And, and that's a lot coming from me, because I really think a lot of this stuff gets blown out of proportion. But I also think like in a perfect world, if red flag laws worked the way they were intended, they would save lives and get guns out of the hands of people who didn't have them. Because believe it or not, those people exist. Not that I agree with the majority of it, and this kid was just like the second kind of person. And I was like, wow.
Well, they found my anarchist cookbook copy and my plan to shoot the school up, but I really wasn't planning on it because I was doing something else. What, dude? Yeah.
When I say weird kid, I'm not like talking somebody who wears like a fursuit. I'm talking like this guy had like a kill book.
Right.
You're not that weird. Like I've met a lot of people doing this, and I've actually met a lot of furries. And while it's not something that I'm personally into, a lot of them are way more normal than I thought they were, which is something that I've had to contend with.
Yeah, that kind of shocks me a little bit to hear that.
Listen, like I'm sure there's a bell curve. Like any group. Like even just in the gun community, there's a bell curve of people that like you've got like your people who are super personable and easy to talk to, and then you've got like your Lucas Botkins that are just like buzzing. I don't know what it is. Or just difficult people to talk to. Like I people who are meant to write like information booklets but shouldn't be on TV or shouldn't be on camera kind of thing. So like but I was surprised when I met, I don't know, there are a lot of people that follow us on Twitter who have like fursonas is what they're called on their Twitter profile that have incredibly balanced and normal takes. I'm like, all right, you know what?
All right, good for them.
Tip my hat to you, sir or ma'am.
Right? Interesting.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
It's like, you know what? I like trains, but I would never have like a model train set in my basement. I don't like trains that much. Like I like animals. I would never dress as one, but to each their own.
I mean, because sometimes you got to think, you can't take it too much out of context and go, is it all that different than me going to the range and LARPing and fucking
that's the thing. Somebody said that like we're all furries when we go to the range in our ballistic helmet and our plate carrier and our shooting belt that we take off immediately when we get home or in the car again. We're all furries. We're just wearing a different fursuit.
It was a couple years ago. Someone made some comment about joking about they drove past a park and saw people live action LARPing, but they were like having a battle with their foam swords and they were in their armor.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, yeah, these fucking nerds and that shit. And I was like, dude, I'll be honest. They're probably having a lot of fun. They're literally wailing on with swords and shields and beating the shit out of each other. It's probably a lot of fun. I was like, in all reality, Is that any different than me getting in kit head to toe, going to the range on a flat range and shooting fast and kit?
Yeah,
It's
coming from the guy with a
really
fake
all that
unit patch
different?
on his plate carrier.
Yeah, come on.
As soon
it's
as
not.
somebody said that to me,
I can at least blame it on being a GI Joe kid.
100%, 100%. As soon as somebody pointed that out to me, I was like, I've got nothing. And that's the thing. Like, I was never even the cool kid in high school. Like, I was in band, I was unathletic, and it's like, I can't talk shit. I just like, when you it's like a coming to Jesus moment where you're like, somebody put it into terms that you could understand. I was like, wow, if you go to the range and you wear a plate carrier and all this stuff that you don't normally wear, then you're a furry. Like, with guns. It's just a different kind of fursuit. And I was like, man, I'm going to go.
No,
that's fucking, it's
really
the
is.
realest thing I've ever heard. So listen, if you're out there and you're listening to this in a fursuit, hats off to you, homie. Real sees real.
On its own level, one of us
on its own level. Yeah, exactly. But then they also do fursuits with guns. So like, I've seen pictures of dudes with fursuits and guns. It's fucking whatever. Again, not my jam, but it's cool as shit.
If it floats your boat,
this is all about like
cool
inclusiveness in the community, and like if some racist or some fucking bigot's gonna get clowned on by a guy with an AR and a fursuit, then and they end up being a loot drop for the dude in the fursuit, then that's like, that's the world we're living in, and that's magical. That's some karmic justice.
That's why, like, you put it like that. You just became a loot drop for somebody else. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Be a piece of shit.
Be a loot drop for a furry.
It's cool. We're totally cool with that.
Exactly. Oh man,
we got some good kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
All right, Dave. Last part of the show. If you had a piece of advice for people listening to this right now, it could be gun related or not, just something that could help them as far as like quality of life tip that you have stored in your brain box, what would that be?
Too many. First one would be like, well, I mean, I'll just roll this one. Social media. Do yourselves a favor. Back off from that shit. Doom scrolling. It's a cancer. It's terrible. Social media can be great. It's kept me in contact with so many friends over the years, and I love it for that aspect of it. But it's so easy to fall into that bit where you just aimlessly stand there scrolling. Before we were recording, you and I were talking about the Alien Earth show, and I was listening to a podcast today that these guys didn't like it, but they were saying it's because this is a second screening show, meaning they've made the show for you to watch it, but while you're scrolling on your phone. And I'm like,
what?
Are you kidding me? Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me?
What is that?
I like a good movie. I like a good show. So the phones, put the damn things down, unplug, go and actually play a game. And in between sessions, don't pick your phone up and scroll, watch a show, watch a movie, but put the phones away. Put it down and unplug from social media a little bit, because there's so much shit that happens on there from day to day. It truly doesn't affect your daily life, and you can't change it either. So just relax a little bit. That's all I got.
I think that's great, man. I tell people all the time, the internet's not real life. It is real life, but it's inconsequential. Like, nothing that you're doing on there can't be done in real life with actual people. And honestly, we'd be better off if you had to like post your name and your location whenever you gave an opinion on the internet. That would honestly make it better for everybody.
Oh my god! Right? People shut the fuck up a whole lot more.
Oh my god! Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good piece of advice. I think people, even myself, I need to take that to heart more often. I put screen time limits on my phone, and I just hit ignore when they go off. Dude, it's bad. For the first week, I was good. And what I do is I was like, okay, I'm going to take the first 2 hours a day, and I'm going to use that to like schedule content, answer emails, go on like my Instagram Messenger and answer DMs,
messages,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where it's like, I can't do everything that I need to do. So a little bit more time is fine. And then when I realize when I've broken that barrier and now I don't have the timer going, I'm like, I can scroll. Right. Dude, it's literally an addiction. And
it is,
man, it's something that like my wife and I have been really trying hard. So we don't have an iPad kid. Like, she's 3 years old. She's never once held an iPad in her hand. And it's not because, like, if we're at a friend's house and they have an iPad, it's not like we're going to tell her no. They can, sure, you can play with that, but like, we don't have an iPad, kid. It's actually really cute. She has a little drawing pad that's like a digital drawing pad. You press a button and it clears it. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch, but like 21st century. Yep. She calls it her iPad, knowing it's not one. She calls it like her pretend iPad, and she'll go on it and she'll be like, I'm going to draw pictures of dogs and cats. And instead of like watching videos of stuff on the phone, and I'm just like, man, we're doing something right. Like, I just think like my parents didn't have iPads and I turned out okay. All like trauma aside, it wasn't because I didn't have an iPad.
And I'll tell you, like, and I've got 2 kids. They both have iPads. They have genuine iPads.
But they look older.
But what they're not, well, one's 6, one's 12.
Yes. Mine's 3.
But the big thing is social media. No, they have to ask to get on YouTube, because what are they going to watch? They're going to be watching crap. They're going to watch shorts. They're going to do their own form of doom scrolling. And it's very limited. We're lucky if they get to watch that even for an hour a week. It's not even that much. Usually the answer is just no, because they have to ask. And now the schools kick back in. It's absolutely not. There is no YouTube. There is no, the only thing you use your iPad for is if we're traveling a long haul, you watch movies on it.
Yeah.
And you download the movies ahead of time. So it ends up just being the extra way of watching something. But then the flip side is I've turned into is, my son and I sits beside me. We game a lot. We were playing Ready or Not this evening with some other friends.
You're playing Ready or Not with your kid? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to download.
He and I play a lot of things together. And my daughter, she'll sit in my lap and we'll play old school Doom together. Where she'll take a mouse, put some tape over the mouse so she can run the guns, and I'll run around and aim, and she'll blast away, together. But then now the more fun thing is I picked up Minecraft on the Switch, and I can tie that into the Microsoft account. So when my son and I are playing Minecraft, she can join in with us too, and we can teach her how it's like build.
Oh man,
build the thing in Legos. Well, now build it in Minecraft. And that's like quality screen time, because they're not scrolling shit. They actually are actively thinking, running their minds.
And that's a bonding moment between you and your kids too. That's like any other hobby that you have. People think that you have to be doing something outside or with tools or something like that.
Not necessarily.
No, not dude. You're getting the social aspect. You're getting a ton of positive feedback with things like that, because you're not just buried in a screen and endlessly scrolling at things like dopamine. There's
the only downside of that is if the 3 of us are playing Minecraft, my wife's usually the one left out, and she'll come in and just go, are we gonna like hang out together and watch something? We're all like, yeah, we can probably stop playing now. We've only been at it for a couple hours now.
That's awesome. I have this like, there's been a couple times where I've played Xbox in the room with my daughter, like when she's playing with my wife. It's like tonight. So I was with her this whole week. She's out of daycare. Her daycare is closed. So they're doing like a refurbish or whatever. So, but for the day, like when we're together, it's a day of activities. Like we might put the TV on a little bit in the morning, like when we're waking up, having breakfast, stuff like that. But like after that, what do? We went for a walk with the dogs. We took the dogs to this walking trail. We went around there. I took her shopping. We went and visited my dad. Like we went to the car wash, which is like a big thing. Like she loves helping me vacuum out the car and stuff. Like we were outside the whole day. And then when I got back, my mom, we didn't see my mom today. My wife got home. She kind of took over and she was like, and this was after my daughter helped me make dinner for my wife also. Like we made panko crusted cheese zucchini slices, because we got zucchini out of the garden, which she helped me pick.
Nice.
And like, this is not every day, by the way. This is just today. But like a lot of days, like we're busy, like we do stuff. And but then like I got home, my wife got home. I got to stop calling my wife my mom. There's some weird Freud shit going on there that I don't want to talk about, I guess. But
all right, Norman Bates.
Yeah, jeez. Oh,
all the boy needs is his mother.
No. But like, daughter hopped in the bath. I got on Xbox. I've been playing the Altars, which is super cool. But she came out and she's like watching me play it, and she's like watching me run around and do stuff. And I was like, I don't see anything wrong with this, because we have not spent any time in front of the screen. Like this is fine. She's engaged. she's like going back and forth between this and playing with, but like I can't wait for the day that she asks to play also, because that means I'm gonna have to buy a second controller because I only have one right now that works.
Oh, it gets worse. Yeah. Multiple controllers, multiple rigs, more equipment. Yeah.
Have you seen that video of the family that has 4 different racing setups and they all race together? They have like driving setups, dude.
No, but I've seen some pretty crazy setups, and I think like Eva could see that, and she'd be like, "Can we do that?" I'm like, "No."
Have you seen how much those things cost? Like, so the dad and the mom had like the professional, well, not even professional, because I looked at what a steering wheel costs to do like F1 racing. If you want like the F1, dude, $3,000 for a video game steering wheel, and I'm like, okay, but you can get into it for a lot cheaper than that. And I've looked at things.
Yeah, you can buy some Logitech and Thrustmaster stuff. That's affordable. Yes.
But I was like, holy shit, it's like licensed by Mercedes and Ferrari and like, I don't know.
It's nuts what you can get into.
There is like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs.
You would know.
I see this dude who has a VR setup where he's got like a seamless, he has gauge clusters in front of him, real gauge clusters. And it's like AR with the VR headset. And he's got 2 monitors in front of him that are super big that he can see, but everything he sees when he looks left and right are out of his windows in the car. Dude, it's insane what these people can do.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's another hobby. I mean, in the end, just another hobby.
Yeah. That's it. Seriously. Anyway, Dave, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was fun. This is what I mean. We could talk. Man. I said we were going. We talked for another 20 minutes.
I know, right?
We could.
Yeah, no, I'll come back on. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Have me back on.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do it again, man. I'll add you to the list of people who don't suck.
Thanks. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. The next time Andrew will come, I'll make sure I can't even say that word now. I think of Kamala saying, "Do not come," and then Trump going, "I'm gonna come." I can't.
I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come. On that note,
God, I should say it. Somebody will cut it and use it.
Yeah, it's getting cut right now. On that note, thanks for coming on, man.